Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Shortcut Podcast, a show about the long and short of the filmmaking process. Joining me on this episode are Serena Dykman and Julia Walker, friends and filmmakers who became a lifelong team through a happy accident while studying at NYU. Serena and Julia join us in the Filmmakers Lounge at the San Jose International Short Film Festival to chat about their short film, Babka. Babka is a comedic tale that explores culture clash, systemic prejudice, and navigating the need to let outsiders in when your community wants to keep them out. I do want to mention that as we are in the lounge, you will hear the sounds of other filmmakers and guests chatting in the background, and you may hear the occasional roar of an engine driving by outside. So I hope it doesn't interrupt your listening experience too much. And with that, please enjoy the show.
Take three. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. Tonight with me are Serena and Julia, filmmakers and creators of Babka. So,
thanks for having us.
Thanks for joining me. Tell me a little bit about yourselves first.
My name is Serena Dykman. I have 0 tennis skills, but it's spelled the exact same way as Serena Williams.
Okay.
I made you laugh, so that's a good start. I am a writer and director. I call myself a culture clasher. I was born in Paris. I was kind of raised all over the world. I live in New York. And I love to put people from very different worlds together in an unusual set of circumstances and show that we have a lot more in common than things that should divide us.
Well, that was certainly the premise of the film.
I was going to say,
absolutely is.
The film is about.
And so that's what I do. I culture clash with some levity and some humor, and tonight was some tequila.
Well deserved. And I understand from our previous conversation that you all met at NYC, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
NYU.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, which is an NYC.
Yeah, I'm technically both right.
Julia.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit about your background.
Yeah, Julia Walker, because I married my wonderful DP, Nick Walker, who shot Babka, actually.
Who's been my DP for about 12 years.
Oh, wow.
This is, I think, the 5th film we make together.
Okay, that's a long term.
And I've actually known Nick and Julia separately before they even knew each other. I've been third wheeling with those guys for the past 12 years.
Okay.
And kind of coerced them into making my movie.
Was the proposal on set?
No, actually, oh my God, that is a funny story. The proposal was at her birthday in Mexico.
So they outshined you a little bit?
No, Nick said, I will wait 48 hours.
Okay.
And we were there for her birthday, and then we separated, and we were doing our own thing and waited for all the birthday celebrations to be over to propose, which was a gentleman of him. But all that to say, I'm Julia Walker. I'm a producer, and I produced Babka. And I am a head of production and producer at Echo Bend Pictures in LA.
Okay.
And we also have another film, Echo Bend, here at this festival, The Shift, the documentary short.
Well, I have not, unfortunately, seen that one yet, but I have seen Babka. So we will focus tonight on Babka.
We're here for this talented woman.
Wow, that was a great film. That was a high-level cast, well shot, well thought out. What brought you to that story? Why Babka?
It's a kind of a beautiful story. It's so I live in New York. I am fascinated by New York, and I have a dog who's she's a little hungover, so you'll excuse her absence tonight. Her name is Nolita, and she's a service dog. She's a medical alert dog who looks like she just walked out of a Disney movie. Okay. Like, she's particularly pretty. And I was walking in South Williamsburg, which is the Hasidic neighborhood in New York. A few years earlier, I was attached to direct a documentary series about people in the Hasidic community leaving it or who had left it and were coming back to it. So it's a world in a neighborhood that had fascinated me for a while, that I had kind of gotten this insight into. And fast forward, I'm randomly there walking with my dog, and I'm used to people being very drawn to my dog and wanting to pet her. And I'm like, no, she's a service dog, and they don't believe me, and blah, blah, blah. And in this scenario, it was the exact opposite. People were walking away from me and from the dog as if I was walking with a bear. And I'm like, what's up with that? You know, and I'm Jewish. I'm the granddaughter of 3 Holocaust survivors. I'm very attuned to the community, but the Hasidic community is a whole other world.
Right.
And I will pause for a second.
No, we actually should be okay as far as sound goes.
Awesome.
These are very directional microphones, so there'll be mild notes in the back.
I'm walking in this neighborhood with the dog, and I enter this bakery, which is like a hole in the wall bakery, but that turns out is worldwide famous for its babka.
As they all are.
As they all are. But this one particularly, it's called Oneg. And I enter, and a couple people backed away from me and my dog.
Yeah.
And the Hasidic owner saw what was happening and said, oh, sorry about that. People in the community just aren't used to dogs.
Yeah.
And so I walked out, and I'm eating the best double chocolate babka you've ever have in your entire life. And, you know, I have like chocolate all over my face, and I'm like, oh, what if a dog had to live in this community? What kind of dogs are mandatory?
Right.
Guide dogs.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm writing this down on my phone. I'm like putting chocolate, smearing chocolate all over my iPhone as I'm typing it. And
great
then great babka. And then when I was looking for a new project, it's kind of this idea that I hadn't forgotten about, which usually means that I should pursue it.
Okay.
And so I started doing research into, the religion versus disability versus guide dogs, what rabbis say about guide dogs and service dogs.
Yeah.
I connected with over 20 people who are Hasidic or Orthodox who have had guide dogs. I must have spoken to probably every Hasidic guide dog owner in the world.
So they do exist.
They do exist. There's about 23 of them. And it was really such a fascinating story between people who feel like they don't fully belong in the Hasidic community because they're blind or visually impaired, or vice versa. And that actually resonated very close to me because I've grown up between so many different cultures and worlds that I felt like I never fully belonged in one or the other.
Okay.
And so I was like, what if the guide dog trainer came from another minority? So I decided to make them Latino, queer, and Catholic.
And that
it's a comedy.
That was a something I picked up on the Latino part, but I did not quite pick up on the queer part until the very, very end, actually.
Yeah.
To the end.
And I thought that was a nice piece of that. And
thank you.
As somebody who grew up in a mixed religious household myself, my father was Christian, my mother was Jewish. I say was. They are. Sorry, they're still with us. I think there was a lot of notes there that I felt comfortable with in terms of it touched me as well. So thank you for doing that. That was very important.
It's, one of the things that when we were developing this documentary TV show was a lot of people that live in the Hasidic community, a lot of people, the reason why they leave is because they're part of the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
And so that's something that in the short is present, but it's very kind of an undertone.
Yeah.
We're actually developing the film as a feature.
Okay.
We have the feature screenplay. It's been a finalist in a bunch of festivals and a bunch of contests, and it's gone through a few labs. But the idea is the LGBTQ aspect of it is much more present in the feature. It's kind of like teased upon in the short because it's 17 minutes and there is only so much you can do.
Yeah.
But in the feature, the daughter of Moshe, who's the lead character, who's the Hasidic baker who loses his sight and needs to get a guide dog, is queer
Yeah.
and is pregnant and is estranged from the community.
Okay.
And throughout the story and the feature, Moishe has to reconnect with his daughter and doesn't actually realize that the guide dog trainer he's developing this very important relationship and friendship with is queer, right? Because what does it mean to not see something?
Yeah.
It's deeper than what you actually can't
I didn't
see.
even put those two
Yeah.
layers together.
Oh, we're
mean to not
very,
see-
very
yeah.
profound. It's like a very layered double chocolate.
Vodka layer.
And I'm colorblind, so I actually don't see things that other people can see. I'm red-green colorblind, so there's a lot of missing parts to the world for me as well. All right, so tell me, this was a fantastic story to tell. It was wonderful to watch. Julia, what brought you to this? I mean, I know you have a long relationship with Serena, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, anything she wants to make, I'll be there for her. But this specific film, like, I'm a busy woman. What can I say? And she came to me with this film, and I live in LA, so it meant like having to produce a film that takes place in New York. So it meant even extra work. And it's just such a unique story that really just has to be told.
Yeah.
Because it tells, especially right now when we have such a cultural divide, the story is like, let's just all get together. We have a lot in common when you just think about it, because we're all human.
yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it's just such a well-told story, and I knew as a film it needed to be told. So despite my busy schedule or whatever, I mean, I would do anything for you. You know that.
I was her maid of honor.
She was my maid of honor. So yeah, I guess because she was my maid of honor, that's why I was there, and we did the 100 degrees in Brooklyn.
It was. I have to say that it was a very. I mean, what shoot is easy? I don't know.
For an indie side
but-
of things, no, there's no such
Exactly,
thing.
but it was a shoot that had a lot of moving elements in the sense that we were shooting in a neighborhood that really isn't used to having shoots,
Okay.
which is South Williamsburg, Brooklyn. We were shooting with a real guide dog,
Okay.
because we're like, how do we get a dog who can play
That was a well-trained dog, yeah.
a guide dog?
Yeah.
It was in training too.
Oh, was in training.
And so we ended up partnering with the oldest guide dog school in the world, which is called the Seeing Eye, which is based in New Jersey. And they were phenomenal. They opened their doors to us way before the shoot. They consulted in the script to make sure that our portrayal of guide dogs, but also of guide dog trainers,
Yeah.
were accurate. And we went to the school with Sol Rubinek, who's our lead, and Jenny Beauchamp, who plays the guide dog trainer, Jesus. And we went and visited the school and got to really meet the dog that we were gonna act with. I mean, it was really on a human level such an amazing experience too. Those dogs are trained for 2 years
Yeah.
before they're matched with their own.
Saul said it was like the most amazing experience he's ever had in his life, right? Like,
Yeah,
one of them.
he's like been talking about that day on that campus at the Seeing Eye, like, because we were up for a Humanitas Award a couple of weeks ago.
Congratulations.
And we're at the ceremony with Sol, and he's like, that day at the Seeing Eye was just so wonderful. And it just, I think it kind of reminded us that also as filmmakers, we get to have, like, in what other world do we get to connect and to have an excuse to talk to Hasidic blind guide dog owners?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that, pun intended, the most eye-opening experience? So yeah, it's just been this really wonderful experience where we've learned so much, and because it's kind of this story where we've pulled a thread
Yeah.
and it just keeps on giving, and so that's why we're like, it really needs to be a feature, not just because we want to make a feature obviously, but because the story between disability and religion and faith
Yeah.
is something that actually is very relevant to a lot of people
I agree.
and is not told.
I think you guys brought a lot to the forefront there. There were a lot of nuances and small notes in there that were really well done. Some of the things, sometimes you can be overly expository about trying to explain to somebody through the acting or through the story about like, oh, well, if you don't know about Hasidic Judaism, here's something that's, hit you over the head with it so you understand it. But I thought the way you wove some of that information in there, some of the cultural differences, was actually really subtle. And
idea is to make it very humanistic and relatable.
Yeah.
Too. You don't want to like make it like these people are different.
Yeah.
You like these people are you, but like with this,
They run
slightly
into
different
all
hair.
these little.
And one of our ways into that story, because that's, I think, as a screenwriter, that's probably one of the most challenging things to do, right? Is how do you give all this information, and even more so in a short film.
Yeah. Well, short films they're such a condensed version of what you see in a feature, right? You have a lot more flexibility in a feature, whereas a short film, you have 10 or 15 minutes to get a lot out, and if you don't use it properly, you have 10 or 15 minutes of boring filmmaking.
Absolutely, yeah. And so like that, our way into this was like through the character of Jesus, who plays a guide dog trainer.
Yeah.
He, he's Puerto Rican, he's Catholic, and he comes into that world with very little knowledge because he's a guide dog trainer, right? Like
He's used to everyone loving dogs.
Exactly. And so he's our proxy for the audience. He's asking the questions that's in all of our minds, but that we, because we live in kind of this politically correct world, we don't dare to ask.
Yeah.
And we've been through this film. There's actually 3 other film projects that have come out, including one that's also on the festival circuit.
Yeah.
Festival, that's a word. That's called At Sea, SEE. That also revolves around guide dogs and their owners.
Came from the whole just research.
Yeah.
Meeting people in the world.
And it's just, there's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned and that we've learned is ask the questions. Like it's important to be politically correct, but it's more important to be respectful, but it's more important to have dialogue.
Thank you. That is a quintessential statement, I think, for us to take from something like this. I've been looking for each of the podcasts we've done so far. Somebody has said something very profound and very fundamental, and that is, I think, the statement of this particular podcast. So, I know I don't want to keep you guys too long because you have a film block to get to. What is next on the horizon for you?
I was gonna say the feature of Babka is
so we're very, very actively working on the feature. Sol is very excited about it. Sol Rubinek.
Great.
It's kind of like we've assembled this family.
Yeah.
And we all did the short because we want to make the feature. Yeah. And we obviously are very attached to the short, but those are actors who are nominated for Tony Awards, who have been acting for 50 years.
Saul's one of my favorite actors, right?
Like, none of them needed to be in a short film. And they all did it because they really believed in that story, and they believed in the adventure of telling it as well. And then we have another film that we all did together, the same team. So we have Chris Nyang, who edited. We have Nick Walker, who shot. We have Julia Walker.
And a lot of other people too.
And obviously it takes a village, right? Yeah. But it's the same core team, which really I'm incredibly grateful for. And so we have a film world premiering at the Austin Film Festival next week, which is called MUB, Monster Under the Bed. And it's written by James V. Hart, who wrote Contact, who wrote Hook by Spielberg. He wrote Dracula by
How did you get it?
That's a really good story.
I got lucky enough to meet him about 10 years ago it wasn't a film festival. It was something similar to like a gathering of minds. Yeah. And I had just graduated in NYU. I think I was 22, and I was starting a feature documentary called Nana. And he became somewhat of a mentor figure of mine.
Nice.
And we stayed in touch. And I was looking for a new film to direct that I hadn't written. I just wanted kind of to have that experience. Yeah. And I asked him because he teaches screenwriting. I'm like, hey, do you have any students who would have something that's interesting? He's like, yeah, I can think of someone myself. Oh. I was like, okay. Huh. And fast forward a couple years later, we've been doing this project together, and it's premiering literally next Saturday, a week from now.
Wow.
The Austin, thank you, at the Austin Film Festival. It's called MUB, Monster Under the Bed. It's a one-night stand that gets interrupted because there's a monster under the bed. Spoiler alert.
Well, hopefully this will come out before then. Otherwise, people will, if it will be out there somewhere, so take a look at it.
There's Film Quest
We're also at Film
Yeah,
Fest
Film
on
Quest.
Halloween.
on
Okay.
Halloween night,
Okay.
which is like kind of the coolest
That's
thing ever.
ideal
a
for
horror
Monster Under the Bed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why do you think they do Film Quest that week?
Yeah.
So thank you both for being here. I've really enjoyed talking with you, and I really enjoyed watching your film, and I cannot wait to see the feature. And I have my fingers crossed it'll be out sooner than later. But
2027.
2027. Okay. So thank you much. Thank you much again, and enjoy the rest of the festival. We'll see you around.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having us. And thank you to the San Jose International Short Film Festival for having us.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time, guys.
Mochi's
Oh,
here.
he's right there. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll call that out. All right.
Is Mochi in camera? In frame?
To see how he's framed.
Sorry. Do we need to redo that closing?
You, in fact, are not in frame at all.
Did you notice?
Partway through, perhaps.
Is that why you guys are laughing?
No.
No.
Well, here, hop on for just a second.
Yeah, so we have.
I mean, that's not necessary.
No, come.
There we go. All right. I'm going to. And so, because you did not see the other wonderful filmmaker here who was speaking the entire time, but
Yes.
only saw her hair on the side. She's not actually hair. She is an entire person. Thank you for
Mostly
being here.
hair.
A full human being. And we just wanted to introduce her, and I will probably not figure out some magical AI way to cut her in, but here she is.
Hi.
Hi. Introduce yourself one more time for us.
Still Julia Walker, producer of Babka, and happy to be here at San Jose.
Well,
I don't know if I mentioned earlier, head of production at Echo Bin Pictures in LA. If you ever want to come out and visit.
Echo Bin Pictures in LA, just so you all know. And then, do you have a film company, or are you just not a freelance director or independent director?
Independent director. I have a production company called Diamond Pictures, which produces most of what I do.
Okay.
And we've been partnering with Echo Ben for the past couple projects, and Julia's the head of production there, and it's a really wonderful company that.
Sounds like there'll be a few more collaborations in the future.
Better be.
So.
All right. Well, I know you guys only have a couple minutes to get down there for the 9:45, so thank you once more again for being here, and I'm really glad to actually get you on camera for this, and enjoy the rest of the show. And I will be here through Sunday, so hopefully we'll hang out again.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks.
Or day.
Or day.
This has been another episode of the Shortcut Podcast. If you're listening early enough, you can find Serena and Julia's film, Babka, playing on the festival circuit. And if it's been a while since you tuned in, you may instead be looking for the feature-length version they mentioned in our chat today. I'd like to thank Bill Hargreaves and Sinoe Hinojosa, the founders of San Jose International Short Film Festival, for providing us with the opportunity to bring you these episodes. And I'd like to thank you, the audience, for tuning in. My name is Christopher Lee Denise. You can find me on Instagram and other social media as @LocalCinematic, on YouTube as The Local Cinematic, and in real life, wherever great films are being screened. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.